I can see you heard what the American government says. I have learned not to listen to the any government to get my investment advice. Yes, they say it's temporary, but they don't know what they're doing. I know that throughout history, a lot of money printing and spending and borrowing has always led to higher inflation. Always. Now, they say it's not, but they're trying to keep their jobs. They don't care about you or me or China or America or anything else. They're trying to keep their jobs. Inflation is here. It's going to continue. Eventually, the markets will cause interest rates to go higher and higher, and eventually we will stop inflation, but it will also slow down the world economy, and we'll have an economic problem. But remember, Wei Ji. Well, I'm afraid of Wei Ji too. You know, I could lose everything. I might make a mistake. I might get it wrong. But, you know, in Asia, you have been around longer than we have. We don't have the word in English. We don't have the word in the West. It's interesting because the Koreans and the Japanese have the same symbol, the same character. They pronounce it differently. I mean, they learned from China, of course, but you know, history shows, I mean, if your house burns down, it's a disaster, but it's also an opportunity for somebody because they're going to build a new house. So it's horrible, but somebody will benefit from it. I don't like disaster. I don't like it, but I'm trying to learn, as the Asians have learned, look to see who's going to benefit. I mean, I don't like to see what throughout history, when a country has problems, the politicians always blame foreigners everywhere. It's easy to blame foreigners. They look different, they speak differently, they eat different food, they wear different clothes. So everybody likes to blame the foreigners when there are problems. Unfortunately, in Washington, we had a president who thought that he would get elected if he could blame the foreigners, including China, especially China, because China is the biggest. And that is not good. History shows it is not good to blame foreigners because then sometimes fights start. And over the past 40 years, America and China have both prospered with cooperating with each other, and both have been successful. Well, not just America and China, but certainly China and other countries. I do not like to see that end. I would like to see China and America continue to be successful together. Whenever I've been in China, many Chinese like Americans. Many Americans like Chinese people. So I hate to see it. Beijing was anyway more restrained as Trump kept hitting China. China kept saying they were calmer. I hope that both countries and both capitals continue to cooperate with each other. I hope we can all make a lot of money together. I don't want to see blaming anybody. And I think I know China a little bit, and I certainly love China a great deal. I'm here in Asia because of China. Well, throughout history, when interest rates go up and up and up, it affects markets all over the world, whether it's stock markets, bond markets, commodity markets, everything, currency markets. So it's going to have that effect again. When I first started in the business, and I don't know about now, but the rule of thumb was when the central bank raises interest rates 3 times, you should get out of the stock market, sell everything. I don't know if that will be the case this time, but I do know that higher interest rates have always hurt economies. And if the world economy has problems, Ms. Chow, China will too. You're the largest trading nation in the world now. And even if you do nothing wrong and your customers have problems, when your customers have problems, China has problems, America has problems. Everybody will have problems when customers start having problems, and higher interest rates eventually will cause economic slowdown. I would like to think that America and all countries will be able to do things right in the future, and that they will calm down their economies without big disasters. Unfortunately, America, and I will talk about America since it's the largest economy in the world, the United States is the largest debtor nation in the history of the world, Ms. Chow. No country in the history of the world has ever had as much debt as the US. I don't like saying this. I don't like saying this at all, but we are the biggest debt. And so when interest rates start going higher, America's going to have problems, but everybody's going to have problems. You're going to see bankruptcies. You know, Beijing has said that if people make mistakes, we're going to let them go bankrupt. I hope they do. It'll be good for China. It'll be good for the world. I hope America and London and Germany and other countries do the same thing, because when people make mistakes, they're supposed to fail. But that helps the system in the long term. So I hope that we can all survive. But Ms. Chow, I've read enough history and been around long enough to know that many people will go bankrupt and suffer badly in the next economic problem, because the debt is so very high, higher than it's ever been in history. So in my investment career, as well as my personal life, I've made many mistakes at times, but fortunately, I have learned from my mistakes. And when I make a mistake, it's always my fault. Some people like to blame, the television or the internet or the broker. So my mistakes have always been because I did not do enough research. I did not prepare myself. And I urge everybody, if you want to be a successful investor, you must do a lot of research. It's not easy. And I will tell you that to be successful, you must stay with what you yourself know. Do not listen to hot tips. Do not listen to the internet. Do not listen to your friends. Stay with what you know. If I told you, Ms. Zhao, you can only have 20 investments in your life, you'll be very careful. You won't be jumping in and out of stocks all the time, and you'll be successful. Now, some people say, yeah, but that's boring. You want to be successful, be boring, figure out what you know best and do it. You've heard of Henry Ford, who had automobiles. He didn't jump around. He stayed. He only invested in cars. That's what he knew a lot about. And he became very successful. That will be true of everybody who stays with what they know. And that's how to be successful.
Yeah. So you mentioned that your first marriage is a mistake. So do you think marriage is also like investment?
Well, I guess in some senses, yes, you must be sure you're making the right decision. Most marriages in the world fail because many people, when they're young, don't do as much research maybe as they should, and they get emotional. And whenever you let your emotions guide your investments, you're going to lose money. And if you get too emotional in your personal life, you will probably make a mistake too. So I hadn't thought about it the way you put it. But yes, if you're going to have personal relationships, especially if you're going to get involved with somebody for many years, you better do your research. You better be sure you're doing the right thing, because most marriages fail and most investments fail. So in that sense, you have good insight.
So as we know that one of the biggest programs or the or something that we will make us in trouble is how to make judgments, make right judgments. So do you think technology is important to invest judgment, or to say what kind of things will help our investment be more efficient?
Extremely good question. When I first started the business, it took a long time to get information. Well, you know what's happened to communications and information over the past few centuries. Now we can all get information much faster, much quicker. But Ms. Chow, if 100 people go into a room and we all get the same information at the same time, most people will not make the right decision. Judgment is the hard part. Information is great, but judgment, I don't know how to teach judgment. Many people learn judgment from making mistakes, from experience, including me. I've certainly learned a lot from my bad experiences. But judgment is, if you can teach judgment, Ms. Chow, you will change the whole world. But unfortunately, human beings for centuries have made bad mistakes because their judgment is wrong. They get emotional, whatever it is. They don't do enough research. So if you can teach judgment, oh boy, you will save us all.
So what is most important thing to make a right judgment? It experiences or the bright brain, or like they're clever enough, so, or your friend, or money.
There are many things. One, do your research. Be sure you know everything you can about something. That will help your judgment. But I guess if I had to say one thing, don't follow the crowd. When everybody is thinking the same way, Ms. Chow, somebody's not thinking. And so you have, when I see everybody saying the same thing, I then say, wait a minute, if everybody is saying the same thing, there's probably something wrong here. So I guess you ask how to make judgment. It takes many things, research, homework, but it also, the one single thing is, do not follow the crowd. Stay with what you yourself. If everybody's thinking the same way, you say, wait a minute, I'm going to do more research.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.